as well get going. Couple of minutes. It's like 55 degrees here today. It's a scooter day. If everything wasn't so wet. That's hot this time of year. 55. Pretty hot. It's mid-January. February, I mean. First week of February. Theoretically, maybe the coldest week. Last week, probably the coldest week. Chantal, we're streaming, right? Good morning, Jody. All right, folks, let's get started. What do you say? It's been an intense week, to say the least. Very intense week. Okay, just waiting on the stream and then we'll get cracking. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 10-Minute Trades Trade Room, U.S. Jobs Report and Canada Jobs Report. Don't forget Canada if you want to trade it. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the Trading Director at 10-Minute Trades. I live in Pennsylvania. Teach people to trade the futures markets. Remember that all the trades we take, everything we discuss is for educational purposes. It's possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully, please. All right. So let me go over a couple of things. Here's the news that we're expecting this morning. U.S. jobs, or better known as non-farm payrolls. That's the proper name of the report. Non-farm payroll report. And Canada has their employment change report also. When it trades with the U.S. jobs report, it often trades very, very well. Okay. I'm keeping my news off to the side because I'm trading two different setups. And I will post. I'm going to post in the trade room chat, Canada setup. Jody, your Ninja keeps going blank. It did last night when you checked the ES. Anytime I have that kind of problem, reboot, I would reboot everything. Cable modem, computer, shut everything down, reboot everything, and then try and see if anything helps. That'd be the first thing I would try. Make sure you don't have something scanning in the background. Do you know how to check for programs running in the background? So real quick, Jody, at the bottom is your taskbar where all your icons are, right? That's where your taskbar is. I just want to turn on my recorder. Hang on. Okay. So Jody, the taskbar, this is the taskbar. It's down at the bottom here. Okay. If you right click it and then click on Task Manager, it'll open up this window. Click on Startup, and it shows you all the programs that might be running in the background. When you turn on your computer, anything that's enabled could run in the background. So click it and then disable them. I don't allow anything to run in the background except my AVG launch component, and I turn it off usually. Okay. So I would disable things that are running in the background. Calvin, what do you mean my bandwidth sounds low? What does that mean? The mic? Give me a quick heads up on sound, everybody. Folks on YouTube, give us a like, would you please? Sign up for the channel. Give me a heads up on volume and sound, everybody. Let me know how the sound is. Sounds okay? Calvin, reboot yourself into the room. Reboot yourself into the room. Joe asked, there's 3 instruments to trade. Joe, there's 2 separate trades if you want to trade 2. Canada is 6C, and then the US jobs report. There's a new instrument. The euro, 6E, okay? The euro's a new setup. We're walking away, leaving bonds alone for a couple of months. They just haven't had good responses. So gold is one setup, and the second setup is the euro. All right. Euro is 6E 322. 6E 322. So I'm trading the euro and I'm trading gold. 2 contracts on gold, and I'm trading 3 positions on the euro. So the only thing I'm doing teeny bit different, I'm just adding 1 tick to the bracket on the euro. I'm going to go 6. Although I think 5 is fine. I did a whole bunch of testing. It looked good. So to put on a strategy, everybody knows you click on the software, put in your bracket, and maybe I'll go with 5. That's what I tested with. I'll leave it exactly as the DMM. And my targets are 10, 18, and 33. And remember, change your targets up a little bit. Go 9, 19 and 25. Don't use the exact same targets. Stop is 12. And the entry time is 8:29:59. It's a breakout trade. Okay. That's my euro trade. Let me post Canada for everybody. Anybody that wants to trade Canada. Canada's $5 a tick. And the euro is 6 1/4 a tick. I hope I'm right. And in fact, in the room drive, I'm going to put the Canada file folder, the file, Trade Canada. So you can download it. I'm putting it in the room drive right now. It's called Canada Job Setup. Okay, it's in the room drive. Where's the room drive? Look, there's like a taskbar at the top of the trade room. Okay. And then gold. I'm trading just 2 positions. Bear with me. Just want to look at something real quick. Okay. Gold's bracket is 12. And then the first target on the DMM is 15. The second is 30. The stop is 20. I'm going a little smaller because I don't want to manage my gold trade. I'm hoping it'll just shoot through it and fill it and take me out of the trade. That's what I would like. So I'm using smaller targets on gold. But everything else I'm using the same. The stop is 20. My entry time is 8:29:59. It's a breakout trade. Okay. And I'm just trading 2 positions with gold. If you're just trading gold by itself and you want to trade 3 positions, you can. You can trade, 8 and 19 and 30. Just be prepared to, when I say be prepared to manage yourself manually out of the trade, what I mean when I say that is be prepared not to get all your targets hit. So be prepared to, if you have to hit the combine button or if you have to hit any button, the break even button, if you want to hit that, manually managing yourself out of a trade means that it will not be all completely automatic. In fact, in every trade, you should always be aware that a trade may not be automatic, obviously. Any questions out there? Anybody? So I've got a lot of info makes up the elements of these reports. I'm thinking, just based on everything that we've been hearing, all the news, all the talking heads, people are expecting a negative report today. I would never trade it based on what people are expecting. Okay. The only thing that's a little bit aggravating these days is the calendars are not matching. When I say the calendars are not matching, so there's a forecast for 150,000 jobs created on investing.com. And on Financial Juice, the forecast is 125. And that's a big difference. I prefer that the news calendars match in their predictions. Okay. It's better if their predictions match. Going to check my time sync, and the time is exact. Yeah, Canada. I was just checking Forex Factory also, and Forex Factory they say 110 on one of their calendars. So there's definitely a little bit of disagreement in the forecasts, but that's okay. I mean, I think that the thought is that the numbers are down. Now, last month was a miss. In other words, people were expecting a lot more jobs to be created than were. So it was a big miss last month. The main thing that we want is just a nice difference between the forecast and what the real news result is. So if they're expecting 125,000 jobs and it's 250 or 300,000, that's a good difference. So here's a sample of the euro in January. It just shot right up very nicely. And let's see. This was gold. Last month. And let's see, in December, so in December, gold had a big move up. Okay. And the euro had a big move up. So my only concern with the euro is slippage on my outer target. So I may shrink that outer target just a little to 29 ticks. So I'm looking to see, Calvin, if they're talking or what they're saying. I'm just watching the news if the Bank of England is saying anything important. Steve asks, how did Amazon go? So Steve, unfortunately, I got stopped on Amazon. Had I used a bigger stop, the market was really volatile. And I'd say about 50-50. Some people made money on it. It was challenging yesterday. 60 tick stop was needed on Amazon. All right, so just waiting patiently, watching the markets. The gold open is right now 820. Gold's trending up. So we're just waiting to see what happens. Let me show you another euro. I tested like five euro reactions. Here's November. We used to trade the euro a couple of years ago on this report. This was one of the toughest ones. November, it really reacted slowly. It definitely reacted slowly. And let's check. The margins. So you know. So if your broker is Ninja Trader, the euro has an intraday margin of 500 per contract. Okay. And this chart is something that everybody should have, so you could always look up your margins. Gold intraday is 2,000 per contract. Gold has high margin if it's not, during normal trading hours. 6,000. That's pretty high. A lot of the indexes have high margins because the brokers, they don't want to take your risk, right? No, I'm just trading the U.S. jobs report, but I'm trading gold and the euro. 2 contracts on gold. What's everybody trading out there? What are y'all trading? Who's trading live? Who's trading live? Anyone? Joe's trading, okay. David, you're trading all those different things live? TJ, you're trading. How you doing, TJ? So I'm going to check my time sync one more time. What the heck? Never hurts. So how do you check your time sync? Go to the website time.is. Time.is checks my sync. I'm in sync. I'm hearing in my headset the Squawk Box from Financial Juice. They're speaking in my headset, which is nice. Jody, you fixed everything? Oh, it'll be fixed, Jody. It's on me now. It's on me. The logo's fixed. I have to install the software, and make sure it's okay. All right, we got about 3 minutes to go. Don't forget Canada. The Canada setup is in the chat. Joe, I'll have to help you with time after the trade. Sorry. You can use the program Dimension 4. Remember? D4 Time. Download it. It's in the room drive also. All right. So we'll see what the report. So I think there's not going to be a lot of jobs created. But who knows? You know what? Everybody's complaining they can't find workers. So maybe more jobs are being created and they're going unfilled. The world is pretty insane, I think. The world is pretty insane. I mean, everything is upended. You know, they say the job market's full employment, but you know, so many people are not working or can't find the right kind of job for them. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. The world's pretty crazy. That's all you can agree on. The world is crazy, right? We can agree on that. "35 seconds. All right, we're getting ready. So let me see what happened. So both trades stopped me out. It's like a perfect move, but it whipsawed. So this has been quite a disappointing ending to the week. Quite a disappointing ending to the week. 2 whipsaws. So I want to look at the video and see it. The news was a big build in jobs. A big build in jobs, both private and in non-farm. Unemployment rate up a tick, a percent, up a percent. David, you got lucky. David, you got lucky. I don't think anybody made money today. And the news is considered good. I mean, if you look at the indexes, I'm thinking the indexes are up. Well, they responded negatively. So are they responding to the unemployment rate going up by a tick, by a 0.1? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Yeah, ZN traded fine because we didn't trade it, right? Let's take a look. Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, you know, it's hard to tell just from the candle. You have to, because all the candles look like they traded fine. You have to run the actual. You have to run the, whatchamacallit, the playback, so you can see the way that it played. Very disappointing ending to the week. Anybody have a good trade? Did anybody trade anything? that worked. Let's take a peek at the video and see what the movement was. So here's the on the left will be the euro. So here's here's what killed it, and it was slippage that was the killer on both. Gold, the euro was filled at 5.5, 144, 1.1455. Way down on the candle, unfortunately. And then it retraces. Gold was filled at 1808.20, pretty far down on the candle also. So if you don't get filled in the fat of the candle, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. As Chantal saying, slippage and whipsaw made the trade impossible. And unfortunately, a lot of the news was what you would have thought would have been a tradable news result. Did anyone trade Canada? Did anyone trade Canada? Michael traded Canada. So Canada, you know, again, he says he traded it. So he traded Canada and made $75 on 2 contracts. So you have to assume then you can't tell by looking at the 1 minute candle. Here's a 1 second candle just for fun. So Canada on the 1 second chart shoots down and it stays down. Okay, so it didn't back up on you. Let's take a look just for fun at GC. Whoops, sorry. On the 1 second chart. So GC, I think what we'll see on a 1 second chart is the price going down and then going up. So here's the trade candle. That's the 1 second trade candle. And see, so if you got filled here, right? Which we did, we got filled in the wick. We got filled in the wick and then it's going up. That move up is what killed us. Okay. it didn't stay down, it went up. And the euro undoubtedly did the same thing. So it's, look, what could I say? I mean, the incredible irony of this week is I believe it or not, I made money this week because I made money on Apple. I made money on Facebook. I lost money on Amazon, and I lost money on this trade. I have to go over the week. I think that when the week is over, I actually made money, even though I had two extremely bad trades with jobs and Amazon, because of Facebook and Apple offset those trades. And I'll go over the numbers. Netflix was last week. Netflix was last week. It was wasn't it last Thursday? So I'm just saying this week. Just saying this week. Netflix was last week. So there's really not a great lesson to take from this jobs report and how you might trade it differently, to be truthful. On the breakout, it just was a report that didn't work. It whipped and it had a lot of slippage. But on the earnings, there's something to be taken from them, in that the stop size, even though I used a big stop, it still wasn't big enough. Now, look at gold, man. Look at gold. And no, and Mark, I increased my stop by like 30%, and I still was not enough. So I was listening to people who were telling me use a big stop, but I didn't. I just was too stupid to use a big enough stop. And believe me, I didn't sleep the whole night last night thinking about the stop. This trade, obviously, look, maybe if we traded bonds, it might have worked. I don't know on traded bonds, so I'm not sure. But because of the type of movement, it was almost impossible to save this trade. I mean, you couldn't save this trade. The only thing that would have saved it was trading an instrument that we weren't planning on trading this particular month. And it is, I can't change it, unfortunately. I'd love to change it. Love to change it. So I'm just watching. Gold's just amazing. Just amazing. The move. I mean, it's still going down. It's hard to believe. Here's the most interesting thought that I had after Amazon, right? All you had to do, the most interesting trade of all, was after Amazon. Okay, well right now the NQ is down. But this morning when we got here, the NQ was up. So all you had to do was go long the NQ after the Amazon trade. What a trade that was. It was an amazing trade. Now you have to have a pretty big stop if you trade. What you do is you hold that trade till morning, no matter what. And you got to be willing to lose $3,000-4,000 on a trade like that. And I'll bet the Trin Brian's making an interesting observation about trading the euro on the jobs report, that he has traded it at times a little bit later, entering at 8:30, entering it in an unusual manner, entering it like this. $8:30, and you can actually put milliseconds. Okay, wait, Brian. Okay, I got you. So I take that back. I think 8:30 might in some ways make sense. But he actually used milliseconds. Like so. 8:29:59:50. Brian, my gut feeling also is possibly 8:30 on gold and the euro. But there's no guarantee it'll avoid the whip. There's no guarantee. If you look at a one range chart, sometimes that can show you exactly where the whip was. So let's take a quick look at a one range chart on gold. Hang on, that's a 4. Let me fix it. And let me back up to the time of the trade. You also see the whip very well on a range chart. Okay, so here's the range. This is right at the time of the trade. Okay, these are all literally nanosecond moves. So the first thing that happened at 8:30, you didn't see it go up, but it went up and didn't fill us because our bracket was big. And then it goes down. It has that big move down, right? That big move that was filled with slippage. That's the start of the trade. And there's my fill. See how far down the fills were? The fills were really poor. Really poor. I'm just trying to read it. 1808.20. All the way, 18 right here. It was all the way down at the bottom of the candle, or in the middle. It was in the middle. There was a secondary move, right? Look. See what the problem was? You got filled all the way down. That's the problem. Then watch, it doesn't continue down. it goes up and stops you. And you don't even see that with the naked eye. You don't see it with the naked eye. That's what happened. And that you can see on a one range chart. Okay. You can see that on a one range chart. And the NQ reaction to the report, I'm sure, was monstrous also. So the NQ at the time of the trade it's hard to move it over. It's so small, the moves. There we go. Let me go over to the NQ. I'm guessing the NQ had a lot of slippage also. The index is shut down. You can see the 1 minute chart on the right. Obviously, it looks, you look at that with the naked eye, it looks like a perfect trade. So the NQ, here's 8:30 exactly on the NQ. Right? Look at the way it moved. So the NQ was going up at 8:30. Orders would have been put on the chart in time to go up, and possibly, depending on what your bracket was, the NQ went from 601, it went up 12 points in a nanosecond. You couldn't even see it. So the NQ would have been seriously challenged. Then look at the movement. Then that looks like the actual response to the news. That steady drop down. And these are very low volume candles. So you can see all the instruments, they all move that way, but the ones that work are the ones that go in one direction. So the NQ obviously everything has a huge move on these reports, on a jobs report. And always the question is, if you can get it moving in one direction. If you get movements up, down, up, down, up, down, with slippage on top of it, it just is a recipe for a stop. So that's what happens. You get a recipe for a stop if you get up and down movement. And it's hard to say what definitively caused the up and down movement. The report itself was extremely positive. A lot of jobs were created, more than they thought. But the unemployment rate ticked up a little bit. And we'll see. I mean, a lot of times there's a reaction about now. I mean, to me, it looks like the market is taking this as a negative report, because normally you get that move down in the index, and then if the market liked it after that move, you'd expect it to go up. But it's consolidating, And my gut feeling is it's going to continue down. Looking at the I mean, the ES looks very similar to the NQ. So really the only really, I mean, unless people are feeling this report's inflationary, you have to listen to the analysis and see what they're saying ultimately. So I hate to end on a losing trade today, but I don't have any other way to go. The only positive I can say is there was some great trades this week also. So you have to, you try to focus on the positive. It's always what you want to do. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's absolutely part of trading. It's absolutely part of trading. But I was expecting a good solid trade. I was expecting a good solid trade. And look, it's, it is what it is. Next week we've got WASD. Next week we've got US CPI. Two volatile profit potential reports. So you pick yourself up and you get back on the horse and you just keep going. But I do think what's interesting, just looking at market behavior, it looks like the market is definitely seeing this as a negative report, because if it didn't, I think the markets would already have turned. Now, obviously, that can change at the open, but it looks to me like it's potentially a negative report. So anyway, still somehow we made money this week. Let's look at the trades. So going over the trades this week, 7-year auction. Was a stop, okay? And then Apple was a big winner. Canada GDP was a small loser. ISM manufacturing was a small winner. API got stopped. Facebook earnings was a very big winner. And then Amazon and the jobs were offset by Apple and Facebook. So live to fight again, keep fighting, and I'm going to look for WASD to be a good trade next week, and CPI using the NQ. And any last questions? Michael, on the slippage, there was a way that we used to trade with what we called slippage settings, but it uses stop limit orders. And when you use stop limit orders on markets that are moving like they are today, you'll miss most of the trades. It'll jump over almost all your orders. So you wind up not having any trades. You have so few trades. So any other last questions, folks? Otherwise, I hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll be back here. Our next event next week. Let me look at the rough schedule. Rob, I have no comment on that. Honestly, it's not the way that I even look at the markets. I'm pretty much, Rob, I just look at events. I have no idea. I have no idea why the markets go down. It could be earnings, right? Thursday, they jumped after the market closed on Thursday because of Amazon, Rob. I think everybody agrees that. And Wednesday, I think it was Facebook's earnings. They were horrible. And that really, I mean, at least that no one will really know for sure, Rob, but I mean, that's what the consensus was, earnings. That was the consensus. The moves are huge, but Rob, the moves are unnaturally huge now for everything. You know what I mean? Like, think about when we tried to trade Intel last week, and the market was moving in 10-point, 8-point moves instead of ticks. So that's just an indication how incredibly volatile these markets are. They're monstrously volatile. So our next event, that's what I was looking for. Let me double check. I don't think there's anything on Monday. I think we're probably API report. API report on Tuesday. And then WASD Wednesday. CPI Thursday. It's a little bit quiet next week. Middle of the month. Okay, folks. I'll see everybody. Have a good weekend. And I'll see everybody next week. And thanks everybody for coming. And everybody on YouTube, thank you so much. Yeah, oil's opening right now. Let's look at the oil. So here's the oil open. Oil is 92. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable that oil is 92. It's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Oil was below zero. Do you remember? 18 months ago? Below zero. It's incomprehensible. So this is the oil open. Oil does have an open, even though there's not a pit anymore. And it certainly looks like an upward open. It's up. Look at the trend. Oil's trending up over $2. It's amazing. It's making new highs at the open. So it's incredible the way some of these markets are behaving. So this is the oil open. It opens at 9 Eastern time. So you chase it, right? You chase it, and then it hands you your breakfast, right? By doing that. Quite a challenge. Quite a challenge. So look at the open. Wow. That's amazing. That's an amazing move. It got to 47. It dropped 47, 57, 60 ticks in less than a minute. 60 ticks in less than a minute. So Chantal, you watch the oil open all the time, right? It often reverses. So you don't take the initial move on the open. You take the secondary move. It's great to know. But that's not normal. That's not a normal move. That's mind-boggling. Very, very huge move. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining with us. And thanks everybody on YouTube. Sign up. We'll be streaming next week, streaming CPI, and we'll stream WASD. Get to watch us trade again. And we'll have good trades always. So I want to wish everybody a good weekend. I'll see everybody next week. All right, folks. Take care and thanks so much for coming.